Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and it's time for another installment of How to Sack Your Queen. In this one, we're going to be taking a look or a rule. Whenever you're getting ready to sacrifice your queen, make sure you get something for it, or in this case, a highly weakened king. In this one, we're going to see that whenever you sacrifice your queen, make sure that the king is weak enough. And in this one, we're going to see whenever you sacrifice your queen, it's going to lead to a forced checkmate. Let's go ahead and take a look. We start with e4, e5, bishop c4, the bishop's opening. Bishop c5, pawn to b4, almost like a Evans gambit over here, although they are calling it the Mcdonnell gambit. So bishop takes on b4. The best way to beat a gambit is to accept him. Pawn c3, bishop back to c5. I won't recommend this move, as one of the main ideas behind playing the pawn to b4, or just like in the Evans gambit, is to play c3, d4. So definitely something better was probably something like bishop a5, maybe bishop d6 and e7. Again, these are all ideas just like in the Evans gambit. The only difference is there's a knight on f3. Okay, bishop back to c5, and of course, what does white play here? White's more than happy. d4, pawn takes, bishop to b4, check. Here, this is the only move that keeps black in the quality game, and here white goes for the extreme looking measure of king to f1. Now this is back in the 1800s, the romantic period of chess, where people were just attacking and just trying to be as creative as possible. Here we are in the scientific era, so there's no need to go into such measures to create complications. Here black went ahead and played bishop a5, which makes sense. We're trying to find a good square for this bishop. Maybe aiming toward the king and also having it defended is a good idea. And here, well, black plays a pretty good move here. Queen to h5 here. Well, nice double attack here. What's the idea? Well, we're threatening checkmate on f7, and we're also attacking the bishop on a5. Is there actually a way to stop this? Feel free to push pause if you want to check out and see how your defensive measures are going. What do you play here to defend both of these threats? All right, this is a forced move. If you don't do this one, you're just going to be in a lost position. Here we have to find the beautiful pawn to d5. Here we're blocking the bishop and also blocking the queen from attacking the bishop over here on e5. Wait a second, don't they just take? Yes, they do, but whenever they take, they're going to have to stop defending one of them. Meaning, well, in the game, white went ahead and played bishop takes d5. And if you take with the pawn, well, now there's no threat. Now knight f6 can get played, maybe queen e7. Nice little moves here, and you see the bishop's no longer being attacked. Plus, you also kind of stunt their bishop, at least for one move. With that being said, well, here, of course, white went ahead and played bishop takes on d5. And again, we see that, yes, this bishop is blocking the other bishop from being attacked from the queen. Simple chess. Queen e7 gets played. A nice little move here to defend on f7, and also threaten something like knight f6. Here, white went ahead and played a nice developing move, bishop to a3, and here black does look like they're in some trouble here. Okay, develop with a threat, knight to f6, beautiful move here, attacking the queen. Of course, if you try to move the queen anywhere, you have to be careful about the checkmate on f7. So development is usually always the best way to deal with these things. Bishop takes on f7. Here, white chose to win a pawn in this situation, and this turns out to be bad for them. Queen takes on f7, we're no longer attacked. Queen takes on a5. They won a pawn, but now, well, it's black's turn, and they're going to get some free temples in. Knight c6. Now we have two pieces out. Free temple on the queen. Queen to a4. And, well, knight takes on e4. Not only winning a pawn, but also threatening checkmate over here on f2. All right. Knight f3 got played. And bishop d7, a nice little tempo move here for developing and making little threats. Something like maybe knight takes d4, knight to e5. These are all ideas that white had to deal with. And here white went ahead and just played knight b to d2. And here black saw his chance to castle, so he does not miss it. Here knight b d2 was a threat because the knight was undefended, but simple chess. Check, takes, and now we have time to go ahead and castle. Maybe castling kingside would have been best, but here don't forget the bishop is guarding on f8, so well, we cannot castle, and even putting a rook here would just lose it, right? All right. White went ahead and played rook b1. At this point, you can now see that black is fully organized and now ready to attack. And well, white's going to try and strike back with over here with rook to b1, looking to attack this b7 square. Here, a nice move here. Queen to d5, centralizing the queen, defending on b7, and also eyeing over here on g2. All right, here we go. White went ahead and played knight to f3. And here, bishop to f5, another nice tempo here, opening up to attack on d4, getting a tempo off the rook. Oof. Here, white is just in a very, very bad position. Rook to d1, just trying to hold the position together. And here, if you want to, you can just go ahead and go queen grabbing. But here, black made a move I like, developing his last piece. Rook h to e8, and you can see here, man, look at the harmony of all your pieces here. When you have this in your game, you should be looking for combinations. As we're going to see here, this happens very fast. Here, white went ahead and played bishop to c5, and now it is black to move and win. What do you play here to start a strong kingside attack? You can see that these pieces are highly disorganized. I mean, a move like bishop c5 is already something that you don't want to play. You can even play something as simple as b6 here if you really, really want to, but here you would be missing the jewel of the position. Black to move. What do you do? All right, hopefully you push pause. We'll be trying to figure this out. Here we mentioned look for the weakness of the king, and remember, if you can calculate this correctly, it should be a forced mating threat, or at least winning a lot of material. And here, well, black to move, queen takes on f3 here. Look for forced moves, look for the checks. Again, the moves that your opponents do not think about are the ones you should be looking at, right? Seems a little contradictory, but it is one of those things that if you start to think about moves that your opponents do not, you're going to win lots more games because, well, if they don't anticipate it, they're going to miss it. Queen takes on f3. I mean, I would definitely say I would not be looking for this unless I knew how weak my king was. And, well, let's continue this game. G takes on f3, bishop to h3 check, king to g1. And this is one that, well, if you were a chess player, you would know that this is a well-recognized checkmating pattern situation. And here, I mean, the game's over. What do you play now? Simple idea is just to get a rook to the g file, and there's only one good way to do it. Rook to e6. Here the threat is rook to g6 checkmate, and there's just no good way to stop this. Here white did play the only good try here and played queen to c2 here. So if rook g6, well, we're just going to sacrifice the queen here. And it looks like it's a good try, but here black was so mean and finds another beautiful idea here. All right, not only is rook g6 checkmate an idea, but we also have rook e1 ideas. And, well, there's a new one. If you can get a knight to f3 here, well, that's also a checkmate too. Can you find the move? Here, black to move plays another beautiful idea. Rook takes on d4. And, well, I mean, at this point, you're more than welcome to resign. But here it is now forced checkmates in mostly all the variations here. At least losing material here pretty badly. Here, it looks like white probably just got sick of the game and just wanted to finish it. Went ahead and played bishop takes on d4. Now it is forced checkmate in 5. And here knight takes d4 and white resigned. Why did white resign here? Well, here we have a few different checkmate ideas. We have knight f3 for checkmate, knight e2 for checkmate, rook g6 for checkmate. And of course the rook cannot take because of the back rank checkmate here on e1. So this is why they went ahead and resigned. And well, yeah, here the computer is just trying to sacrifice the queen in many different ways to stop the checkmate. But again, there's just no good way to stop any of these ideas from happening. So remember, guys, when you're in your game, look for moves that your opponent won't anticipate, especially if they make the king weak. In this game, we saw the beautiful idea of queen takes f3 here, which was going to go ahead and open up the king side. And remember, this works out. This is why you should be studying checkmate patterns. This is a very standard checkmate pattern that you should know. And we see these in quite a few games, especially back in the old days. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.